Alright, those blue dots, you gotta go. They're right next to the house, but yeah, we're gonna send this oak first, then this shagbark hickory. Then I got that white oak. Looks like a maple, and I think that may be it. Maybe there's something else that I don't see, but I'm gonna get on it. I don't got a lot of SD card left. This one leans hard and it's got that crazy arm on it. I'm gonna try to sneak it off this other pig nut hickory. That may be what that is a pig nut, but I'm gonna sneak it over this little one and this way keep it off this stuff and put it in that little hole.
So for the first time in a long time, I run into to some saw troubles. I'm usually pretty good about keeping my stuff maintained and keeping maintenance up. But here lately I've had so many things going on, I've negated to keep all that up, and it's coming back to bite me. So I start out here with the 362. It is my go-to saw based on the power to weight ratio. I start with this first oak tree. I get my notch put in, and if you guys remember in the most recent video, I dealt with a top landing on top of me, and the reason for that's the wind was fighting me that day, and I wasn't paying attention enough, and I paid for it. So the wind can be an enemy a lot of times, but on occasions the wind ends up working in your favor and being, you know, almost a teammate. So this tree here has a huge lead out the top that hangs out the back and to the right here, and I need this tree to go down the upright there behind me. The issue is that limb, you can't really see it. It is very big and it's putting a lot of side weight. So I smack my notch out here and get to cleaning it up. I don't have a rope set, and 99% of the time, you guys know me, I will always put a rope in it. I say you should always put a rope before beating wedges. It's quicker and it's safer. But in this situation, I wanted to kind of get a little old school practice with just smacking wedges. So I didn't put a rope in, and I figure as I'm making my back cut, as long as I got a good clean notch, I should be good. So I start out here and I'm making my cut, and I know that I need to sever as much hinge wood on the far side as I can and leave as much on close side to me as possible. That way it pulls the tree to the left a little bit and misses the wood pile on the other oak tree. So I think I should have to beat wedges and stuff. But what's nice is the wind picks up, and out of nowhere as I'm cutting, I reach for my wedge and I see movement, and I'm like, oh, the wind's helping me. So I just start to feather the tree little by little, and then you can really see how big that arm is as this tree comes over.
So that one's next. That was leaning hard that way. You can see I barely got it by this oak tree. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this up and I'll click you back in when I fall the next one.
Alright, so you can see here that I've switched to the 660 with the 36-inch bar. The reason for that, if you look in front of this tree, you can see I made a stump cut. I cut the tree up, processed it a bit, and then made the stump cut. And in the process of making the stump cut, I think there was some metal down in there. It roasted the chain and knocked the teeth clean off. So I switched to 660, and it's always that faithful saw that always runs so good. But I've been dealing with issues with the dogs messing up. The tree went over good, no issues. Now, the dogs keep rattling themselves off. There's my brother. And what happens is the bottom nut that holds the dogs on will rattle out and gets right where the chain is at and just ruins the chain on the chainsaw.
Here it is. This oak tree, and it leans back there hard. And it's gonna go up that way, right there, because right there is a septic head. So it needs to go right to the left of it.
So if you heard me there, I said that there is a septic head, and to keep it from getting to the septic head and even taking the risk of actually hitting it, I'm gonna high stump this tree so that it lands a little short of it, and that should be kind of the ticket to keep that from even being an issue. So right in here is when I